Hello everyone, myself Miss Lokhande Vaijayanti Mahesh, B Farm, lecturer at Mua Rural Institute of Pharmacy Sonai. Today we will going to discuss about female reproductive system. The content of my slides are: first one, introduction to reproduction; next, introduction to female reproductive system; third one is part of female reproductive system; and last one, structure of ovaries. So first we will discuss what is the function of female reproductive system. First is produce ova, that is eggs. Second one, support and protect the developing embryo. Third one, give birth to a new baby. And fourth function is produce sex hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. The basic function of female reproductive tract are the production of ova and the nature of protection of fertilized ovum until it is developed into an individual capable of lining a fairly independent life outside the maternal environment. The time for conception to the birth of baby is called as gestation. In human, the gestation time is about 280 days or 9 months. Next one, we will discuss parts of female reproductive system. That is, in that first, we will going to discuss external genitalia. It is also called as a vulva or pendulum. In that first, vulva, which runs from pubic area downward to the rectum. Next one, labia majora, or we can say that greater lips, are the part around the vagina containing two glands which helps lubrication during intercourse. Third one, labia minora or lesser lips, are the thin hairless ridges at the entrance of the vagina which join behind and in front. In front, they split to enclose the clitoris. Next part is clitoris. Is a small P-shaped structure and it is play an important part in sexual excitement in females. Next one, the urethral orifice or external urinary opening is below the clitoris on the upper wall of the vagina and is the passage of urine. Opening of the vagina is separated from the urinary opening and located below it. The hymen is a thin crystenic fold of tissue which partially cover the opening of the vagina. Medically, it is no longer considered to be 100% proof of female virginity. Next one, that is second part of female reproductive system, that is major organs. In that major organ, following organs are considered. In that first, vagina. Second one, cervix. Third organ is ovaries. Fourth one, uterine tubes, or we can call that Follopian tubes. And last one, uterus. See in this diagram, we will able to see the different organs of female reproductive system, that is ovaries, fundus of uterus, body of uterus, Follopian tubes, fimbria, endometrium, next to that myometrium, cervix and vagina. In that first, we will going to discuss the cervix. The cervix acts as a passage through which the baby exits the uterus into the vagina. The cervical canal expands to roughly 15 times its normal width for the passage of the baby during birth. The lower portion or neck of uterus. The cervix is lined with mucus known as cervical mucus. Cervical mucus provides lubrication and sperm transport during sexual intercourse. During ovulation, secretion of cervical mucus increases in response to estrogen. But when egg is ready for fertilization, the mucus then becomes thin and slippery, offering a friendly environment to sperm. Next part, that is vagina. The vagina is a slightly curved muscular canal about 3 inches long. The cervix of uterus enters its upper end. At the lower end, vagina opens into cleft between labia minora. It is a muscular ridge sheath connecting the external genitalia to your uterus. Function as two-way street, that is accepting the penis and sperm during intercourse. And second one, serving as the avenue of birth through which a new baby enters the world. Next part, that is ovaries, are also known as female glands. The female ovaries are homogeneous to taste in male. One ovary lie on each side of uterus, and each ovary is in close connection with the femora of infundibulum. They produce eggs, also called as ova. Every female is born with a lifetime supply of eggs. The ovaries also produce hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. See, in this diagram, we will able to see the position of ovaries. In that we see vagina, cervix, uterus, opening of uterine tubes, fimbria and ovaries. There are 2 ovaries are present in female. This is a roughly structure of female reproductive system. Next one, we will discuss structure of ovary. Each ovary is made up of first one germinal epithelium. In that it is a simple squamous epithelium covering the ovary externally. Second one, tunica oblongata. It is a whitish capsule of dense irregular connective tissue below the germinal epithelium. Third one, the stroma. It is made up of connective tissue and divided into 2 parts. First one, the cortex, and second one, the medulla. In cortex, the superficial layer of dense connective tissue, and second one, medulla. It is located below the cortex and it is made up of loose connective tissue. Fourth part, that is ovarian follicles. They lie in the cortex of stroma and contain oocyte in various stages of development. Oocytes are surrounded by a single layer of follicular cell. This follicular cell with development from many layers, and then they are referred to as a granulosa cells. Next one, the Graafian follicle. It is a mature follicle filled with fluid and it is ready for rupture and release of secondary oocyte. And last part, that is corpus luteum. The remains of Graafian follicle after release of the secondary oocyte is called as corpus luteum. It produces progesterone, estrogen, relaxin and inhibitin. The corpus luteum degenerates into fibrous tissue called as corpus albinicus. These all are the structure of ovaries. Next one, we will discuss fallopian tube, that is uterine tubes. Stretch from the uterus to the ovaries and measure about 8 to 13 centimeter length. The ends of fallopian tube lining next to the ovaries feather into the end called as fimbria. Millions of tiny hair-like cilia line the fimbria and interior of the fallopian tubes. The cilia beat in a wave hundred of times a second, catching the eggs at ovulation and moving it through the tube to the uterine cavity. Fertilization typically occurs in that fallopian tubes. See in this diagram, first number, that is release of mature egg from ovary. Then to the second point, the egg reaches to midpoint of fallopian tube where it is fertilized by sperm. That is, fertilization occur in your fallopian tubes. And then it goes to the number 3, that is implantation of fertilized egg into the endometrium of uterus. That is, implantation is occur in your uterus, that is your endometrium. Next one, uterus. It is a pear-shaped muscular organ in the female reproductive tract. The fundus is the upper portion of uterus where pregnancy occurs. The cervix is the lower portion of uterus that connect with the vagina and serve as a sphincter to keep the uterus closed during pregnancy until it is time to deliver a baby. The uterus expands considerably during the reproductive process. The organs grows to from 100 to 20 times its normal size during pregnancy. Next one, we will discuss what is endometrium. The endometrium is the innermost layer as a lining for the uterus. During the menstrual cycle, the endometrium grows to a thick, blood vessel-rich glandular tissue layer. Generally, this represents the environment for the implantation of a blastocyte upon its arrival in the uterus. During pregnancy, the blood vessel in the endometrium further increase in size and number and forming the placenta. And this placenta supplies oxygen and nutrition to the embryo and fetus. see in this diagram normal placental attachment, and in second diagram placenta previa complete, that is fully development of embryo. Thank you.